Morning, everyone. Today we will be covering on access control. The product that I will introduce over here is KANTECH. So, in terms of the access control product, we all know access control, typically what it does is to ensure the person who enters the door, he's the authorized person. But the challenge will come when we require the access control to do much more. And that's where I will cover on areas such as scalability. How can access control scale as the customer's demand changes, expectation changes, productivity? How access control able to help in improving the productivity in terms of the security of the premises. I also will cover on integration. How can we integrate this product KANTECH with other subsystems or even other software that you have designed? Then reliability is also another important consideration. How can we make the access control as reliable as possible? For example, if any of the server breaks, okay, how can we resolve this, prevent such incident from happening? And we also provide the one-stop shop complete solution. So to start off with, in terms of our controller is able to have dual purpose. In short, that by the definition of dual use, meaning that this controller can either function as a standalone controller without any requirement for a server, okay? Or we can also take this same controller and connect it to the server. So by having these two dual use controller, we can start off with a particular size, okay, or perhaps a construction area. We start small, okay? Once the site gets bigger, we will be able to further expand on the system. And on top of that is this dual use controller, if you operate in the standalone, it will have a full feature access control administration within the controller itself. You are able to access and configure this controller by using the web administration page, okay, on the controller. So useful things you can create, such as the door schedule, the holiday events, the card holders, and so forth. And the beauty of this is by having a web browser, a web server within the controller, we are able to allow the user to connect to this controller using many methods. You can either use a web browser from the phone, from a tablet, or even the PC. So once when the user increase their demand, which means that they expand on the site, okay, it doesn't mean that this controller will have to be discarded, removed and discarded. This controller, we can change the mode from being a standalone into a network mode controller, whereby it can be used to connect to an Entra server, and it will be able to be a function like a traditional access control. So this one is not to confuse with those in the market, whereby in the market there are many manufacturers that sell standalone controller. Do take note, those standalone controller are very different compared to this. Those standalone controller, it will require you to do programming using the keypad on that controller. Whereas for KANTECH, our controller, you configure it using a web browser. Okay, it's so much intuitive and it's so much easier to configure versus using the keypad. So we have two types of controller for this. We have a one-door controller, and we also have a four-door up to 8 readers controller. Okay, meaning that if this site having a 4-door, okay, and all the door it require in and out reader, okay, such as in the construction site, the turnstile, okay, or the turnstile, okay, to monitor the traffic in and out. This will be the perfect solution for this environment. And once the construction project is completed, this KT400, we can use it to redeploy for other purpose. So in terms of the network diagram on how to deploy this dual use controller, okay, earlier I mentioned that there is two ways of deploying, one as a standalone mode. So as standalone mode in the design here on the left, okay, it means that this KT1 controller, it is sufficient to secure and manage the day-to-day access control for the door. Okay, it will just work by itself. So whenever you need to do a configuration, you just need to use whatever device that you have, okay, the web browser, connect to the KT1 controller and do your administration. Okay, so this same controller, we also can change the mode to a network controller, whereby it's a typical controller connect to a server design. So for KANTECH, our server is called Enterprise server, and this same KT1 controller will be connected to Enterprise server. So the Enterprise server will be the administration base to do the enrollment and configuration of the door schedules and so forth. So the takeaway here is that we have the controller that is able to scale. Okay, we can start very, very small. Okay, a single door controller with 2 readers, and we can scale to thousands of controllers. So it depends on the site, and we are able to scale accordingly. So we also have an input output module, which has a switchable role. Okay, what I mentioned about switchable role is that this input output module, right? Okay, it has 6 interfaces. And these 6 interfaces, you can configure it at will. Okay, whenever you want, you can change the setting to switch it from an input and output. Okay, vice versa. You just can toggle the modes. And most of the time, we have found that whenever we have inputs and outputs that we install on the site, due to some demand changes or site drawing changes, okay, many a times we will need to purchase either additional modules, okay, or we need to run additional wiring, okay, because the design changes, and that will result in extra cost and project downtime, okay, project delay. So this module is unique in the sense that if you require more inputs and outputs, okay, you basically just change the mode. Let's say, for example, you have this input and output module installed, let's say near the fire exit. Okay, suddenly, okay, the end user say, oh, I want you to install a smoke detector, okay, at the fire exit. Your problem comes when you do not have additional inputs or spare inputs to connect this fire detector. Then end result, you need to run new cable. Okay, you need to buy new module and perhaps power supply. This will lead to project delay. Whereas with this module itself, what you need to do is just to convert those interfaces assigned to outputs to inputs, and you are able to connect additional input devices. So that is the magic on this module. And in terms of the wiring, it's RS485 interface. It's a 4-wire RS485. Okay, meaning that you from one of the module, you basically just extend the wiring over to the next module. And that's where you can expand the module without the need to incur heavily on wiring. We also have another very useful product, which we call the KANTECH Telephone Entry System, the KTES. The beauty of this product is it itself is already an access controller. Okay, this controller, okay, it serves many purposes. Okay, you can use it to manage tenants, we can use it to serve as intercom, okay, as well as I can use it to manage to day-to-day door access. So if you require to connect to more doors, you basically just purchase additional KTES, or you can purchase additional other model of the KANTECH controllers. So the takeaway of this is that this KTES is designed for gated communities. Okay? It could be high-rise development, it could be cluster housing, whereby the demand is that you require intercom. Okay, you require when the person punch the unit number, the pre-programmed unit number on the keypad of the KTES controller, it will ring. It will make a call to the subscriber's telephone number. And this subscriber's telephone number, he can remotely key in certain commands and the door will be released. So we have a lot of demand for places whereby, especially those landed properties, cluster housing, whereby they want to improve on the security and they want to manage the access control. But because of the current infrastructure that they have, okay, they have a little bit of limitation, okay, in terms of the wiring and so forth. So the beauty of this KTES is that, as mentioned, that it is an intercom as well. So in terms of connecting and make a phone call, a telephone call, okay, it supports PSTN, means public switch telephony network. So if there is no PSTN, we also support optional 3G LTE, okay, cellular phone dial up. And in terms of managing this this product, right, okay, it can perform as a standalone, okay, meaning that you do not need to connect to the Entropass server 24/7. So in terms of programming this KANTECH telephone entry system, the KTES, okay, you can do the configuration in 3 methods. Okay, you can either configure them using RS-485 IP or even dial-up modem. So we have cases whereby, okay, in a gated community, okay, that gated community only purchase 2 units of this KTES. Okay, KTES come with Entropass software, but they did not install it. So the system integrator is able to manage this KTES, okay, because this site don't even have a guardhouse. So the SI, the system integrator, manage this KTES by dialing in to the modem, the built-in modem within this KTES, and do the configuration such as to add cards, delete cards, and other stuff. So this is a very useful product, okay, designed for gated community. Okay, it could be a high-rise development, whether is it commercial or residential. Okay, it can be those landed property whereby cluster housing, which means that a lot of houses together, they fence it up, okay, at a single entry or exit point. Okay, then they have this KTES installed, and they do not need to have a physical guard on site. So whoever visitor coming to the premises, they basically just punch in the unit number on the KTES, and the KTES will make a phone call to the homeowner, okay, of that unit number that was being keyed in, and the phone will ring. So the owner itself can remotely push certain numbers on his mobile phone, and the gate will be released. So this is a very useful product. So in terms of scalability, as mentioned, is that when there are more doors, more gates, or perhaps you require even much more for much bigger sites that stretch multiple controllers, you can add additional KTES. You can also add additional KANTECH controllers to it to expand the site. So it's a highly scalable product. So we also have mobile credentials. Just most of the time is that whenever we issue cards, we always have this common problem of people losing their cards, okay, through things such as they accidentally misplaced, they lost it, or being stolen. So in order to prevent or to reduce the cost of card replacement, so for KANTECH, we also support mobile credentials. Okay, this mobile credential is our own, which is called EntraPass Go Pass. So with this EntraPass Go Pass, right, it works with our EntraPass server. Okay, it does not. This is not a subscription base. What you do is that you just purchase the virtual card. So the virtual card will be basically saved within the EntraPass server. So by installing this mobile app, okay, and by installing this mobile app onto the phone, okay, it will create a unique card ID. Okay, this card ID on the EntraPass administrator, he will save this card serial number or card ID into EntraPass server, and then assign to this person the doors that he is allowed to go. So once that is it is being done right, okay, this EntraPass Go Pass will synchronize with our cloud. Okay, then within itself, it will have all the details such as which are the doors that the person is able to go to. So this EntraPass Go Pass, the unique of this product versus those in the market is that this one is not subscription based, meaning that you do not need to pay a monthly fee nor a yearly fee just to keep this application, okay, alive. This is just a single license that you purchase, and this license is perpetual, means with you forever. So this EntraPass Go Pass work with our KANTECH readers, and in terms of the devices that we support Apple Watch, Android devices as well as those Apple iPhones as well. Then, depending on the size, okay, we also have a reader that is both cloud-based and also can deploy as a traditional local readers. Okay, we have this iOS Smart Reader, okay, with a built-in BLE. It's a Bluetooth, okay, for us to communicate with our mobile app. So you can see from the diagram down here is that the unique part of this reader, okay, this reader, it has dual function. Okay, it can be either a cloud-based reader or a local reader. Okay, if it's function as a local reader, we basically just connect as vegan to our controller. Okay, but if we want to we want to deploy as a cloud reader, okay, then which means that we do not even need a controller. Then we could connect all your door devices to the reader itself, such as the request to exit button, the door contact, and the controls or the EM lock, all directly to the reader. So we have this reader that is flexible in a sense. So it depends on the requirements of the site. Let's say we have a remote site and perhaps there is no don't have any space or location for you to put a server to control the door access. Okay, we have this cloud-based reader solution, okay, which is basically you just deploy a reader with your non-monitoring devices connected directly to the reader, and you can complete the whole access control for the specific remote site. So in terms of that reader which I have presented earlier, right? This reader, it functions as a cloud reader. Okay, it will tie perfectly with our Tyco Cloud Access Control. Okay, which means that the administration of this site is all done using our Tyco Cloud. Okay, and Tyco Cloud combined with our Enterpass Go Pass. Okay, the administrator as well as the cardholder is able to administer the site as well as to access the site. So everything is being managed on this Tyco Cloud, the access control administration. Okay, you are able to revoke, you are able to set the access right, when this person able to access the door, at which time, the holiday group, on and so forth. So if anybody were to lose their phone, right, then the administrator can go to the cloud to do the revocation as well. Then, in terms of the technology behind how this whole Tyco Cloud Access Control technology works, okay, with our cloud reader. Earlier I showed you that one is IO Smart. So what we have on the left hand side is the Tyco Cloud, the access control that is hosted in the cloud. So we have this mobile app, which is Enterpass Go Pass. And do take note, Enterpass Go Pass, it can serve two modes. One mode that is connected to Tyco Cloud as a complete Tyco Cloud access control. Or if it's not, if you do not subscribe to the Tyco Cloud access control, it can also, this Enterpass Go Pass can also work with the Enterpass server that is installed physically on site to provide the necessary card credential. Okay, so to continue, is this Tyco Cloud is that the administration will be on the cloud itself. So whatever things the administrator creates on the cloud, it will be pushed to the Enterpass Go Pass mobile application. So remember, this Enterpass Go Pass application will carry, okay, information such as its credential, the IO Smart serial number. So whenever the cardholder holding this mobile phone, okay, going to the door with the IO Smart reader, he will just need to activate the reader access for that reader, okay, and his app itself. Okay, if we will look at this, like this example down here, we have this Voca facility. There are basically 3 doors. So what the user, the cardholder needs to do is to launch the Enterpass Go Pass application and select the door that he wants to access. So once the cardholder select that, the Go Pass application will communicate, okay, via Bluetooth to IO Smart reader. And if the credential matches, the IO Smart reader will release the door. And this Go Pass, once the IO Smart reader release the door, this Go Pass application will transmit the transaction directly to the Tyco Cloud. And that's where the Tyco Cloud administrator is able to have the transaction report as to who enter to which area or which door at which time. So we are able to manage that. So if you want to further safeguard, okay, because it's a remote place, you can also install with an in and out reader as well. So by means of in and out, you're able to capture what time the person, the cardholder, goes through the door and what time he exits from the door. So you're able to capture an in and out. So this is a perfect deployment for those places whereby it can be a bit difficult to do wiring, okay, for that site. Or perhaps
Anthony, I have one question. Sorry to cut your word a bit. So with this solution, that means that we no need to have the controller or store in the cloud.
Everything stored on the cloud.
Okay. Okay. So like that, the connection, I mean that the card reader need to have the internet connection to the cloud, and maybe they have another firewall
No,
for VPN to the cloud, or no need?
no need, nothing. Zero. This is my next slide. Network diagram.
Okay, sorry, you
You
continue.
You do not need anything. So for this Tyco Crowd Access Control, the network diagram, right? Okay, there are two ways of deploying this Tyco Crowd Access Control. Okay, one is as a panelless reader. The other one is as panel-based reader. Okay, I'll start off with the panel-based reader. The beauty of this is that once you deploy it as a panel-based reader, we can use it for any type of access control, not just KANTECH. You can use for other products like Lenel, Bosch, etc. Because why? The one that communicates with the Enterpass Go Pass application is the reader and the app. So the reader and the app will basically communicate each other. And once the reader reads the app serial number, you'll basically just forward this to any of the access control panel that is connected to it. Okay, and with that itself, right, if we put this design on par with those mobile application that is being released by those major players such as Asa Abloy, okay, or such as HID. HID have this Seos or Ortigas, okay. So with this itself, right, we are on the same playing field as this Seos and Ortigas. So by using our Tyco Crowd Access Control, okay. So in the reader, instead of using HID reader, we make use of the KANTECH reader, and the mobile app, instead of using HID Seos mobile app, we use the Enterpass Go Pass. So this mobile app will communicate with the KANTECH reader, and the app will send over the serial number to the reader, and the reader forward this serial number to the controller, and it will work with any other brands of controller in the market. And with that itself, right, once the app is on mobile phone, you can fulfill a couple of things. Number one is that the chances of the people losing their phone is very low. Most of the time, people always bring their handphone with them. Number two, you're able to fulfill contactless. Okay, because everything is running on the phone, their phone belongs to that person, and people usually do not pass the person their handphone around. So, which means that it is contactless, and chances of people passing a handphone is very low, and thus it is more clean. Okay, and number three, you also fulfill the two-factor authentication, the 2FA, because most of the handphone, now that we use the current version that we use, it requires you to supply your password or a PIN or fingerprint or facial recognition in order to unlock the phone. So with this itself, right, you also fulfill on the requirement for two-factor authentication. So next, this Tyco Crowd Access Control, we also able to deploy as a panelless reader. So my needs of panelless reader is that you do not need to connect any controller to it. This reader will has interface for you to connect all the door devices, such as the door inputs, your door release button, your EM lock controls. Everything is all built in within the IO Smart Reader, which is a KANTECH reader. So, based on the Enterpass Go Pass, the mobile app, okay, when it transmits, okay, its information over to the IO Smart Reader, and once the IO Smart Reader recognizes, okay, those information, it will release the door. And at the same time, when the IO Smart Reader releases the door, okay, the mobile app will capture that information as well. And all this information will be transferred, okay, at real time back to the Tyco Crowd. And the Tyco Crowd administrator will be able to know this particular card holder which date and time and which door, okay, that this person has request to enter or exit. Okay, hope answer your question.
Yeah.
Continue.
Okay.
So this is the perfect solution. Let's say if you have some site that is very remote, okay, you have some problem, okay, in some problems such as power supply, or some power supply issue, you need to deploy some sort of access control from some street lightings or whatever, okay, whereby power is a constraint and space is a constraint. So this will be the perfect solution whereby you're still able to manage the access control from the premises, and yet you are able to capture all the audit trail. So next, in terms of the, yes.
Okay, for
in terms,
PLANEC based moment, asking one example, the customer is the mart, is the mini mart, so they have many outlet anywhere. So like that, do they just can only have one controller based in the central office, and then at each mart they just install only the card reader and have the connection to the panel? This one can or not?
yes.
Okay.
Yes, you can, because the beauty is, let's say for example, if it's a mini mart, right, and they do not have internet, they got no internet. Okay, this will be a perfect solution because this design here is that you do not need to have any internet in the mini mart. No internet.
Okay.
Nothing. So what you do is just deploy the reader. Okay, you will ask the question, so where the internet comes from? The internet will come from the mobile phone.
Okay.
So it's using the mobile phone internet. Okay, we collect information and we control the access control. So if we were to look at my earlier slide, this is how the IO Smart Reader looks like. You can see on the reader itself, right, we can either deploy as an in reader or we can deploy as an in-out reader, and we can still connect all the door devices directly to the reader. Yes, the reader itself, right, we have interface to connect your door contact, your door release button, and your locks. Okay, continue. So next, this is on the Entrapass software, okay, which is the KANTECH server software. So the software itself, okay, we have the special, we have the corporate, and we have the global editions. Okay, all these software, right, it depends, okay, on your requirement, on the site requirements. But by and large, in terms of the software, it needs to fulfill a series of roles. Okay, beside the traditional access control role, we can do much more. Okay, there are some unique feature about our software. Okay, like for example, it gives you complete site information. There are not many products in the market that once you log onto the system, is able to show you on the controller which specific port with animation, okay, which specific port that the door is connected to, okay, and the reader is connected to, so we have a perfect information. So if there's any spare capacity on the board, okay, you're able to see from there. Okay, if there's any alerts, any alarm, you're also able to see it from the board. So to make things even more complicated or even more useful, okay, you can have information such as the firmware number, the IP address, on and so forth, the memory, how many cards, etc. Then we also can provide you with a graphical, a full color image of how the physical controller looks like. So with that, you are able to do troubleshooting. Let's say, for example, if certain wiring is not working, most of the time, if you go through a 2D diagram, a line diagram, it doesn't show you which particular pin. But with this itself, right, you'll tell you, oh, this particular inputs are for the door lock is connected to these two particular pin. So if a lock doesn't work, then you have to physically troubleshoot by testing the voltage of these two pins, etc. So if the reader doesn't work, okay, this is the particular reader. So what we give you is not just during the installation process, okay, the clarity, okay, but on the day-to-day in terms of maintenance, you also have the full clarity of how to troubleshoot if something goes wrong, if something is not working. So this will give you the complete site information, okay, be it your controllers, be it your server, you have the full information at hand, so you're able to troubleshoot during the installation or troubleshoot when something fails. Then we're also able to manage the error. We're able to control the error, such as, let's say, for example, in a particular error, let's say we have the minimum head count in order to enter the sensitive area, perhaps a laboratory. We can set, like for example, this particular door, we need multiple cards to access the particular space in terms of anti-passback. Okay, whether we want to implement anti-passback, okay, what sort of anti-passback we want to implement. So we give you that detailed, okay, configurable access control over that area. Then in terms of occupancy, we also able to let you manage in terms of the occupancy of the place. Okay, we can set down here. Okay, like for example, this particular area, what is the supervisor level? Okay, how many supervisor required in order to open the area? Okay, how many supervisor must be inside? Okay, whoever is the supervisor that access this door, he will be the last one to exit. So we're able to enforce that. Then on top of that, let's say if you want to make use of the card access, okay, as a guard tour, you're able to do that. So you're able to configure either whenever the guard present his card at the door or place an input at certain area to register his presence at the place. Okay, we also support guard tour. Okay, it comes as standard in the product. So we also can make use of the KANTECH access control as an virtual alarm system. Okay, and using the reader as the means to arm and disarm and so forth. So we are able to configure this whole access control, the KANTECH itself, right? Okay, as an virtual alarm, so that you do not need to purchase additional intrusion system and make the whole solution complicated. So on top of that, we also have a flexible task builder, we call it, okay, which is basically an event trigger. Okay, this task builder allow you to construct a series of scripts, okay, that this KANTECH will trigger when it detects something, okay, such as when a door falls. Okay, you want KANTECH to drop an email, okay, or perhaps run certain application or to do video pop-up. Okay, all this action can be created using our task builder, or even things such as when fire alarm. Okay, you want all the door, a group of doors to open. Okay, all these are configurable using this task builder. This task builder is a very flexible, I would say, script writer. Okay, although you can see the script, it can look a bit overwhelming, but the design of the script is basically very much wizard driven based on the selection that you have select in the drop down menu. Then in terms of reliability, for KANTECH, compared to other products, okay, in terms of the redundancy, it is created by ourselves. Okay, we do not require on any third-party products to do the redundancy. So in terms of redundancy, we have two types. We have the database redundancy, which is the Entrapass server redundancy. We also have this redundancy, we call it a gateway redundancy. So how KANTECH works is that all your controllers must be connected to a gateway. Gateway is like a cache, whereby it cache all the information and it allows all the controllers to intercommunicate with each other. So the gateway will communicate to the server's database, and so if the site is small, right, effectively both the server and the gateway are residing in the same machine. But if the site is very, very big, which means that you will require more than one gateway. And that's where we also consider that, and that's where we also have a redundancy for the gateway besides just the database. So this will ensure that there is minimal downtime if any of the gateway or the server crash, and the failover is entirely automatic. Then in terms of integration, we also at factory level, we have written integration to communicate with SQL and Oracle to mirror the Entrapass card holders information. So which means that, let's say, for example, if the HR system registered that this particular staff is no longer in the part of the employee, okay, and with that integration, right, okay, on the Entrapass card database, we will basically deactivate that card holder. So, but if you are looking beyond integration with HR system or with a traditional SQL database, okay, we also have third-party integration available for your own self-development. Okay, these are a list of what we are able to integrate in terms of the services that we are able to do. Okay, such as integration with CCTV or have email notification card, SMS, or etc. Okay, these are the series of integration that allow you to have bi-directional communication between the Entrapass server with your own development. And recently, we have replaced all this with our connected program. So in terms of our connected program is, once you participate, we have a series of, we have SDK and some sample libraries for you to use, okay, to do the necessary integration. Okay, let's say, for example, at this current moment for KANTECH itself, right, we only integrate with our own Tyco CCTV solution. If you need to integrate with other CCTV solution from other providers such as SigVision or Dahua, you can participate in our connected program, and you have the SDK to develop your own integration. And this is part of our integration, like for example, HVAC, videos, panels, etc. So within our SDK itself, we already have all these features. So what? By joining a connect program, right? Okay, it helps you to develop the necessary drivers, okay, which will then be installed on the KANTECH Entrapass server, and the Entrapass server will able to pull the video from the CCTV where instances happen, such as door falls, door held open, and so forth. Okay, with that, I close off. Is for KANTECH, we also have a one-stop complete solution. The other time I presented is that we have integration, ExactVision has integration with KANTECH, and both product is able to reside in the same box. So similarly, for KANTECH, we also cross-sell ExactVision as well. So we also have a one-stop complete solution, which is our KANTECH Intivo hardware, whereby when you purchase this box, okay, it has ExactVision inside. So what you need to do is just add the necessary camera license, and this box itself you're able to fulfill the role as an access control as well as a CCTV. And that's end of my presentation. Question? Any question?
So
Yes.
lấy hết ốc nhé. Mình chia sẻ ấy ốc hay số tự cọt bán.
Anybody any questions?
I think
From me, no. From me, no.
Anthony, I have one question. If we use other brand of the card readers and even the card, so this one it can workable with with the KANTECH controller or not, or you need to stick something like a protocol that identify to make sure that it's work together.
KANTECH can work with any other card readers as well. Okay, at this current moment of time, right, our controller we only support weekend readers.
Weekend.
Weekend. At this current moment, okay, we are releasing our new controller sometime beginning of next year, 2022. Beginning of 2022, we are releasing our new controller called the KT2. Okay, the KT2 we will support OSDP reader, but at this current moment, our controllers are KT1, the KT400, the KT300. We only support weekend readers.
And one more thing, if they link the access control with the fire alarm system and fire suppression system, example like when the alarm occurs, then they instruct all access control door to be unlocked. So this one they need to pay any more license, or just only our controller has already be in the function?
You do not need to pay additional license. All these is a feature built in within KANTECH. There's no additional license required.
Okay. So our controller can link to any alarm-based system. Example like the door is not proper closed. So if your bell running, this one can or not?
No issue, because this is a standard access control feature such as door held open, door force open. That is already built in within the software without additional license. And if you have video integrated, we also can do video pop-up to show the door, okay, which has the alarm. Then on top of that, we also can force the security guard to respond to the alarm, such as key in certain messages or comments on his review, as well as we can also prompt a series of checklists when there's a door force, what the guard needs to follow in order to make sure that the door force alarm, the alarm is being handled correctly. Such as we can put down there a series of instructions, such as, oh, the guard has to dispatch somebody to go to the door. Okay, from CCTV video, playback the video, make sure nobody force open the door. Okay, and send a dispatch guard to check for damage. Okay, then next to check whether is it the door contact problem or what are other problems. So all these step-by-step SOP, standard operation procedure, okay, we can incorporate into KANTECH so that when this door force alarm, okay, a pop-up happens, that you also at the same time, besides popping up the video, we also can pop up instruction to tell the guard how to solve this door force alarm.
Oh, okay, okay, that's good. Okay, so I leave to other. Yeah.
Any further questions? Such as the how the stand like in the terms of the standalone controllers, the Tyco Cloud Access, the crowd readers. Because in terms of the cloud readers, right? Okay, not many manufacturers in the market has cloud readers. And the beauty of the cloud readers, as mentioned, is that you can use it to manage the remote sites. Then, in addition, in terms of the mobile application, okay, or the mobile card, okay, we are the very few manufacturer that is able to manufacture both our reader as well as our virtual card. And another takeaway here is our virtual card, you do not require to pay a subscription, a monthly or yearly subscription. You just basically pay one time, and that license is yours forever.
So anyone had a question more? Otherwise, I wait for a few minutes, then I will close this session. We don't have any more questions.
Because the main thing here is KANTECH, okay, it is suitable for all sorts of environment that we have, that you might have, okay, and it create new opportunities for you to start selling to the access control. You start selling access control even to non-traditional market. Let's say, for example, if you see there is a group of housing or houses together whereby it's considered as a village or a neighborhood. But if they want to implement access control, we all know it can be very expensive. But earlier, as I present, is for KANTECH, we have a numerous solution that is affordable. It doesn't require very expensive installation or hardware purchase. Okay, such as our crowd-based reader, okay, such as our KTES controller, which also have intercom function. So even though, let's say, for example, you have certain buildings, and that building, they want to control access, okay, of people, be it the visitor, be it the tenant within the building. So how to do it the cheapest possible way? Okay, KANTECH, we have the solution for that purpose. And let's say, and I mentioned in terms of scalability is, let's say, for example, they want to test out, okay, the usability of KANTECH, okay, we can start small, okay, by installing a controller to do the necessary works as a standalone mode. So once they find it is useful for them, we can further expand on it by installing more controller, and we can install the Entra server as well. So the design, the beauty of KANTECH is that you can start very, very small to keep within the end user's budget. So when they have more money and they have more requirement, right, we can scale accordingly.
Okay, Anthony, I think let me close out the session. So in local, wait for okay. សួស្តីអ្នកនរគ្នាអរគុណច្រើនសម្រាប់ការចូល presentation តទៅនឹង Asset Control ថ្ងៃនេះណាខ្ញុំចង់ highlight បន្តិចតទៅនឹង product Johnson Control ទាំង KANTECH ទាំង Exact Vision ទាំង Illustra និយាយទៅ Johnson Control ជាប្រភេទ product enterprise ហើយ enterprise ហើយនឹង standard ហើយ normal ខុសគ្នាហ្មង enterprise គឺយើងថតអំពីការ easy អ្នកនេះអាចងាយស្រួលក្នុងការ scalability ការពង្រីក add on time ឬមួយក៏ថយអីវ៉ាន់តទៅនឹង flexibility អ្នកនេះអាចងាយស្រួលក្នុងការប្រើប្រាស់តាមទម្រង់ទៅជាប្រភេទ mart ប្រភេទ mall hotel apartment ឬមួយក៏ building commercial building rental building យើងមានទម្រង់ប្រើប្រាស់ខុសគ្នាហ្នឹងគឺយើងមាន flexible ហ្នឹងដូច present របស់គាត់ទេអ្នកនេះអាចឃើញមានតុង cloud access តុង normal access mobile access មាន controller អត់មាន controller ប្រើ controller របស់យើងប្រើ access card ពីអ្នកដទៃប្រើ controller អ្នកដទៃឬមួយក៏ប្រើមួយឈុតរបស់ KANTECH តែម្ដងគឺ everything គឺ flexible តែម្ដងហ្នឹងហើយជាគុណសម្បត្តិនៃ product enterprise ហើយ modern ទៀតហ្នឹងគឺអ្វីៗត្រូវបាន store ជាលក្ខណៈ central management ន័យថាអ្នកនរអាចមើលព័ត៌មានឃើញបានច្រើនចង់គ្រប់គ្រងអ្វីៗគឺ easy ណាដោយសារយើងអាច record customer information ហ្នឹងបាន detail ល្អហើយយើងមាន interface ក្នុងការភ្ជាប់ទៅខាង third party software ឬមួយក៏ភ្ជាប់ទៅខាង system ផ្សេងៗដែលអ្នកនរអាចប្រើបានគឺវាសម្បូរបែបហ្នឹងគឺទៅក្នុង enterprise ដែរអូខេខ្ញុំសូមសង្ខេបប៉ុណ្ណឹងសម្រាប់ second story និង CCTV យើងបានចូលនេះអញ្ចឹងអរគុណច្រើនសម្រាប់ការជួយអ្នកនរអញ្ចឹងនេះជា event ចុងក្រោយរបស់ PLANEC សម្រាប់ខែ July នេះសម្រាប់ខែ August ឬមួយខែ September និងខាង sale ខ្ញុំនឹងរៀបចំ update ជូនបន្តទៀតហើយបើអ្នកនរគ្នានៅមានសំណួរអីបន្តទៀតអាចតាក់ទងមកខាង sale យើង Mr. Rati ឬមួយក៏ខាង technical Mr. Mau គាត់នឹងរីករាយក្នុងការឆ្លើយសំណួរអ្នកនរគ្នាឬមួយក៏ជួយផងអ្នកនរគ្នាតាក់ទងនឹង design អ្វីផ្សេងៗហ្នឹង Okay, so thank for all of your present today and thank Anthony for your valuable time in sharing us the information and product knowledge of the KANTECH and exact visions. So after the session, you can send us a slide and we'll forward to all the attendees later. Okay.
Yes,
so
sure, no problem.
Yeah. So now I would declare that our presentation is completed and we will finish the meeting in now. Okay, thank you everyone.
Okay. ខ្ញុំសូមតិចបង
ច្រើនបងគុណ
Okay.
សួស្តីអ្នកទាំងអស់គ្នាអញ្ចឹងដោយសារតែខ្ញុំគិតថាមានអ្នកខ្លះគាត់ជួញតាមការ share link ពីក្រុមការងារគាត់អីអញ្ចឹងណាអញ្ចឹងខ្ញុំនឹងផ្ញើលេខ Telegram ខ្ញុំមួយដើម្បីឲ្យគាត់ជួញមកឆាតមកខ្ញុំដើម្បីគាត់ត្រូវការអីផ្សេងៗជាមួយនឹង slide presentation អីអញ្ចឹងណាហើយខ្ញុំនឹងវីដេអូដែលគាត់បាន presentation នៅក្នុងនេះខ្ញុំនឹងកាត់ចូលទៅក្នុង website ហើយខ្ញុំនឹង send ចូលទៅកាន់ group partner របស់ PLANEC ណាអូខេហ្នឹងអរគុណបាន
Okay, thank you. Yeah.
Thank you. Right, bye bye.
Bye bye.